Hey there, Alfred here. I was exploring the game looking for some interesting mechanic to build around on. I ended up here with Ilaria, this vendor right here. She sells these particular runes, throw knife and throw axe. I didn't really pay attention to these runes when they first came out. I might have checked them out to see what they do, but they just didn't capture my interest. Now though, I played around with them, and this is what I came up with. So yeah, I was actually pleasantly surprised. The attack speed of the throw axe rune in particular is really substantial. The throw knife rune, it lags behind by a lot, but I found a decent use case for it with this build. So yeah, presenting the Circus thrower build. Let's start by discussing these runes for a bit. It can be a bit quirky. Normally, runes scale with weapon power. However, these runes, they don't do that. They scale with player level instead. This is a level 1 character with a level 1 weapon. I put in an axe throw rune on the weapon and she does about 48 damage on the dummy. Here's my level 30 character with the same gear that my level 1 character was wearing. I brought all his attributes down to the base level to make sure they're operating on the same stats. He does 102 to 103 damage on the dummy. That's about 114% damage increase from a level 1 character to a level 30 character. Next, the weapon type and the weapon level that we're putting the runes on, they don't really matter. Also, they're not affected by damage increasing or damage reducing facets. I confirmed this by doing a damage test using these weapons. Here's a common level 12 one with the indestructible facet, and a common level 13 Great Hammer with the reliable facet. The indestructible facet basically means our gear won't break. The reliable facet increases attack damage and poise damage. I put in the throw axe rune on both these weapons. Here's the damage test using the wand. Here's the damage test using the Great Hammer. Normally, we would expect the Great Hammer to perform better. It's a two-handed weapon, it's one level higher, and it has the reliable facet which increases attack damage. However, the damage output was the same on both weapons. I performed another test with another set of weapons, a dagger with the clumsy facet, and another dagger with the quick facet. Clumsy increases damage but reduces attack speed. Quick increases attack speed but reduces damage. These two daggers have basically the same enchantments as seen right here. Here's the damage test using the dagger with the quick facet. Here's the damage test using the dagger with the clumsy facet. Both produce the same damage per hit, but there's a noticeable difference in attack speed. With those two tests, you can conclude that these runes, the throw axe and the throw knife runes, perform the same regardless of what weapon we place them on. Also, damage modifiers on weapon facets do not affect the damage per hit of these runes, but other modifiers such as attack speed increased and attack speed reduced do impact the cast speed of the runes. Next is they do not crit. Currently these two runes, the axe throw rune and the knife throw rune, they do not have any critical hit chance at all. I tested them, I put in critical hit chance increase enchantments, and yeah, they do not crit at all. I don't know if this is a bug or if this is how it's supposed to be, but currently, increasing crit chance does nothing for these runes. Next, I'm sure this is a bug and it mostly happens with the axe throw rune. The character performs the throwing action, but there's no axe being thrown and there's no damage being done. On the dummy, it seems to happen only when you're at a certain range, like right here. But I've experienced this fighting monsters at different ranges. Here's a clip where it happens quite a lot. It was a battle against the unbreakable egg, and for some reason, throws were not connecting. I was still messing around with the build at this point and haven't finalized what setup I wanted. It was really annoying, but what I found out is, it happens less when I increase the attack speed and when I was further away from the target. So to get around this bug, make sure to increase your attack speed and maintain some distance from the enemies you're fighting. Lastly, the damage output for these runes, it's weird. We're gonna go through several areas to illustrate what I mean. Here in Marine Woods, we've maxed the Pestilence level, increasing the danger level to 30. The modifier enemies take 50% less damage at high health is active. The damage after we've trimmed the health of enemies below 50% is our true damage output. We'll put our average damage dealt here to about 350. Here in the Urban Glades, we've also maxed the Pestilence level, increasing the danger level to 26. The modifier enemies take 50% less damage at high health is also active here. We can see our damage output after we've trimmed the enemy's health down below 50%. We'll place our average damage dealt here to about 300. Here in the Lowland Meadows at danger level 25, testing our damage right now. With that, we'll place the damage per hit at an average of 240. Here in the Black Trench at danger level 23, checking out our damage output against several targets, let's put it at an average of about 200 per hit. Here in Mariner's Keep at danger level 21, let's mow down some enemies to check our average damage. Let's put the average damage per hit at 160. Are you starting to see the pattern here? It seems like the damage output is affected by the danger level. Here's the tabulated results. It seems that the higher the danger level, the higher our damage output. The lower the danger level, the lower our damage output. These runes, Throw Axe and Throw Knife, seem to perform better against higher level enemies. It's unusual, isn't it? Maybe there's some other factor here I'm not seeing, or maybe that's really how they're designed. I'm not certain. If you guys know something about it, or if you have some theory, please feel free to comment down below. So yeah, these runes are quirky right now. The game's still in early access, so they might still be playing around with the details of these runes. If they change this in the coming updates, rest assured I'll be making a version 2 of this build. Alright, now that we've discussed the runes, let's check out the build. For the weapon, we're using this knife, a singular purpose. I chose this weapon because of its weight. Lesser weight means lesser points spent in equip load. You can switch these to other weapons, but I recommend that you stick with the knife or with the wand, since they're the lightest weapons in the game. Remember that the runes that we're using do not scale with the weapon. They'll produce the same damage regardless of which weapon they're on. We might as well stick with the light weapon to lessen the amount of points we have to put in equip load. For the runes, ignore the drone trap rune for now. That's something I'm still exploring and we won't be using that for the build. We'll only be using the Throw Axe and the Throw Knife runes. Here's the Throw Axe rune in action. It costs 50 focus to use and it has such a short cast time that you can spam it really fast. Here's the Throw Knife rune in action. This one costs only 25 focus to use, but the cast speed is slow, especially compared to a Throw Axe rune. For the facet, we have Quick, where we have attack speed increased but with damage reduced. However, as discussed earlier, the damage reduced downside does not impact the runes that we're using. Also, attack speed increase also means increased cast speed for runes. This means we take advantage of the facet's upside without suffering the downside. For the gem, we put in a mottled bloodstone for 12% lifesteal. I'll explain why I chose this once we get to the gameplay aspect of the video. Going to the enchantments, rune damage increased by 20%. We're primarily using rune attacks after all. Then we have gain health on fatality. This is a great enchantment. It keeps us going when we are mowing through mobs, especially through the crucible. Stamina cost reduced at fatality is also helpful, as mobility is really important for this build. We have to be able to reposition quickly and maintain our distance from our target. Movement speed increase after damage dealt by rune attacks. This one is awesome, especially when we are farming through different areas. Being able to move quickly is not only useful in the repositioning and avoiding attacks, but it's also such a big time saver. On the negative enchant, we have lose focus and damage taken. This is a downside we don't have to worry about, as we won't be using focus with this build. Next we have our offhand, the wooden light shield. This shield is practically a stat booster. We don't need it for blocks. We just need the bonuses of the gems we infused on it. We put in a chip spike for 10% increased physical damage, mottled emerald for increasing our max stamina by 15%, mottled meteorite for 8% increased elemental resistance, then a mottled bloodstone for an additional 10% lifesteal. Moving on to the armor pieces, I used all leather armor. On the facets, I chose rapid on the leather gloves and frantic on the pants. Rapid to increase our attack speed, which also increases our cast speed, and frantic to increase our move speed, which is really useful since we need mobility with this build. Both of these facets come with the downside stamina regen reduced, which we countered by choosing the agile facet on our helmet and our body armor. Agile increases our stamina regen, but decreases our focus gain. We are not using focus with this build, so this is a downside we don't have to worry about. In the gem slots, I put in all medium skulls for health regeneration. We'll get to why once we get to the playstyle aspect. Going to the enchantments, to increase our damage output, we put armor penetration and physical damage increased on all armor pieces. To give us some protection against physical attacks, we put in physical resistance increased on 3 of the 4 armor pieces. Next, I push for more health regeneration here on the body armor. To improve our health regeneration and lifesteal, we have healing increased by a percentage of current durability and increased durability here on the gloves. Then healing increase at low focus here on the helmet. On the pants, we have stamina cost reduced at low focus. On the downside, we have loose focus on damage taken on all the armor pieces. Onto the rings, we have the Willow Cap ring for even faster move speed and cast speed. We have the Ring of Serendipity to further increase our healing rate, which encompasses health regeneration and lifesteal as well. And lastly, we are using the Ring of Determination, which allows us to use our health to cast runes when we don't have enough focus. Okay, moving on to the playstyle. In this build, we are using our health to cast Throw Axe and Throw Knife runes. Mostly, we use the Throw Axe rune as our primary damage dealer. We just have to watch our health, as our health regen and lifesteal will not be able to catch up if we spam the Throw Axe rune too much. Also, remember that there's a bug on the Throw Axe rune where the attack just doesn't connect. And if you continue to spam it while not connecting, that can whittle your health really fast. To get around that, make sure to keep your distance from the target. The bug rarely happens when you're further away compared to when you're near the target. Also, when you're in outbreak zones, there are modifiers that affect your healing, like healing reduced by 20%. This means health regen won't be as fast and lifesteal won't be as high as it normally would. With this build, it's critical to watch your health, because most of the time it might not be the enemy who's killing you, but rather you yourself. Take advantage of the really good mobility of this build. When your health is low, dodge around or run in circles around the enemy while your health regenerates. As for the Throw Knife rune, this is really useful when you can see that the enemy poise is almost broken but you are low in health. Due to the low cost of this rune and the slower cast time, your health regeneration can actually catch up and fill your health bar even when spamming this rune attack. That's the best use case for this rune. While you're a bit low in health and to prevent the enemy from regaining poise, you can spam this rune attack without worrying about whittling your health too much. One more thing, you might have noticed that most of the gear I have are not exalted. That is because I ran out of mats. Yeah, I will need to go back to farming more. Going back here, since our gear is not yet at full potential, a lot can still be significantly improved. If you get rune damage, physical damage, and armor penetration exalted, that will significantly increase the damage output. And with the higher damage output, your lifesteal will be a lot higher as well. Maybe even high enough to cover the cost of spamming the Throw Axe rune. That means you can switch some of the medium skulls we use for health regeneration to enchantment power increased gems such as mottled spikes and other elemental gems, producing an even higher damage output. Well, that's it for the build. Next is no echo battle against the Echo Knight, setting the path to the Unspoken. That's it. If you have feedback, suggestions, or requests, drop them in the comments below. Also, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Let's grow this community together. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. I'll see you on the next one. Bye!